YMCA, U.S. Assure, and High School 912.
We are back. It's Rivalry on the River, presented by Train. A quadruple header of lacrosse coming to its culmination. Tonight, it's Creekside taking on Ponte Vedra, the premier rivalry of boys lacrosse in Northeast Florida. Hello, everybody. Joel Lamp and Lee Roggenberg here. And Lee, we've had 3 great games so far. Now we're ready. We've had enough of the appetizers. It's time for the feast.
Yep, main course time. Number 1 team in the state in Class 2A, Ponte Vedra, playing their divisional rival Creekside. This is one of those games where you have the big dog and you have the little dog who wants to become the big dog, and the only way to beat the man, or the only way to beat a man, is to beat the man. And this is Creekside's task tonight.
Creekside is always looking forward to this game. This is one of their games that they circle on the calendar every year. Let's talk a little bit about the Knights. What do you see from them tonight?
Well, one of the things that when I looked at their schedule and their results that you have to sort of look at is, are they starting to learn to win the close games? When you look at their record, they're 5-3. They have 3 losses so far. The losses were 1 goal at Oak Hall, 1 goal to Lake Mary, and 2 goals to, 1 goal to Maclay, and I think it was 2 to Oak Hall. And then they came back this week and beat a very tough Lake Highland Prep team, 12-8. And that's the type of game that you need to sort of start to get over the hump. So the key thing I think in this game is don't get behind early. Be patient. Ponte Vedra, is going to play a patient game. There's no reason to try to jump out too quick. If the break is there, fine. But I expect a relatively low-scoring game today.
When you look at Ponte Vedra under head coach Tom West, they are the gold standard of lacrosse in Northeast Florida, and probably even in the conversation for the gold standard in the state. They come in, they are Tom has another good loaded team. What do we have to look forward to out of Ponte Vedra tonight?
Well, one of the things that's happened with Ponte Vedra this year is they've had a number of injuries. Some have come back, but it's given a chance for younger players to get into the spotlight and get their experience. And that's very important when you get later into a season, and particularly a season like this where you don't know who might not be able to play in a playoff game. So you've got a situation here where they are still the defending state champs. I think we kind of forget that because it's been 2 seasons now, and that brings a certain level of credibility and a certain level of confidence to a team. And now it's just a point where how much can they reload?
When you look at this, it's the premier matchup. These 2 schools, not separated by more than 15 minutes, but it is a rivalry between both of them. And, Ponte Vedra, it means a little bit, but not nearly as much for Creekside. This is their Super Bowl almost, if you will, and an opportunity, you mentioned it, knock off the big dog. But for Big Brother, this is a chance to kind of swat little brother around.
That's always the case in high school lacrosse, is finding a way to finally get above that rival. And it goes back and forth constantly over the years, although there have been certain instances where it hasn't. Ponte Vedra up here, a St. Andrews in the south, it took a long time to knock them off. A Lake Highland in Orlando, took them a long time to be knocked off. But this is what you strive for on the high school level, is to take it to the next level.
We see Ponte Vedra head coach Tom West here on the screen right now. Let's looking at the global state look at this. Ponte Vedra is number 1, and you've seen a lot of the guys across the state. Tom West, he has another team that really matches up well with anybody in the state. Yeah,
and they've proven that through this year. They've gone on the road, for instance, came down my way, beat St. John Paul, which is a very impressive win considering a 5-hour bus ride each way. It was a close game, and St. John Paul's a good team, but Ponte Vedra found a way to get the job done. And that's really what I think Tom has instilled in his players, finding the way to get the job done. And that just continues as they have a long winning streak going on now in state.
Ponte Vedra coming into tonight's game, number 1 in the state. Creekside looking to make a statement here. This is for Creekside. You've seen obviously everybody across the state with your work with Florida Lacrosse News. this is a program that's had moments where it's gotten up there in that kind of contention. As we look at their starting lineup tonight, when you look at it, you see Marcus Eaton on the defense and Sam Green. You see Dylan Ruprecht. We'll see him at the spot and in the midfield. Buck Bennett and Mana Wilhelm on the attack. Dominic Bupka on the defense. Zach Bender in the midfield. Nate Watson on defense. Jordan Pollock on attack. And Josh Griffin will be between the pipes for the Knights. This is a Creekside team that has moments where this is an opportunity, a really big opportunity for them to take advantage of and make a statement to the state.
Yeah, and again, being in the same district means these kids see each other. Some of them probably cross over a little bit in the summer on the same club team. You know, these are rivalries that are difficult. They're intense at times, but they're also sort of friendly at times too. And this is, again, we're looking at the screen now. Jason Alford, head coach. You know, one of the little interesting things is Jason's a little bit more of a Maryland guy. Tom's more of a Long Island guy. Those of us who have been around the sport a long time know that that's also sort of been a rivalry over the years for supremacy in the sport. And you see it in the styles. They're a little bit different when it comes to the styles too. A Maryland coached approach is a little bit more of a ball control. Long Island tends to be a little bit more physical. They do tend to meld towards each other over time. But this is just one of those games that is very interesting to see how it plays out because of this particular issue of Creekside having to get over this particular hump.
When we return, we'll send it up to the booth, and our boys upstairs will be calling the game. It's Creekside and Ponte Vedra, the top rivalry in Northeast Florida, set to take stage. Rivalry on the river.
Welcome back to Rivalry on the River from the Episcopal School of Jacksonville. I am Ray Carnicelli, joined by Jim Applegate. Jim, the final game of Rivalry on the River, a battle that you know very well, Creekside versus Ponte Vedra. The schools came into existence the same time. There's been some good battles over the year, but Ponte Vedra's maintained the best of them.
Yeah, they really have, Ray, and I think if you talk to Coach Alford, he thinks this is his opportunity to kind of break the tide and break the Ponte Vedra win streak.
To do that, they're going to have to play pretty clean, and by clean we mean limit the turnovers. They've got the talent at the face-off spot to earn those valuable possessions. They just can't turn it over because Ponte Vedra is too deadly, especially in transition. Yeah, and we've seen Creekside a couple of times this year, Ray, and they are a attack-oriented offense, and they have some senior leadership there, and they have a tendency of trying to make the pretty play. And tonight, hopefully, they'll just go back to basics and really focus on what they're really good at. When you talk about Ponte Vedra, Nolan Parlett, the goalkeeper, the Air Force commit, he's a game changer. He makes it difficult. He gets in shooters' heads. He's confident. He's talented. And it's going to be a tall task for Creekside shooters, but this is probably the deepest team that I remember watching Creekside since their inception. Yeah, and I think you're right. And you talked in the earlier game about getting to good spots, good shooting spots on the field offensively. And if Creekside can do that, they're going to be able to score on Nolan Parlett. If Ponte Vedra is able to force them into bad angle shots, it's going to be a long night for Creekside. So this is a face-off battle that we've both anticipated for Creekside. Dylan Ruprecht, he is just so talented, and he's going up against the freshman Ladd Harper. From what I understand, these two know each other. Yeah, they play on the same club team over the summer, and I haven't really asked anybody who's the better face-off guy. But we're going to find out, aren't we? Yeah, we are. And we've seen both these players be able to dominate and take over a game. I know I mentioned Christian House for Nice, when he took over the game in the fourth quarter on Thursday night, Nice versus Bulls, and these players have the same ability to dominate a game. Creekside in white with red helmets, Ponte Vedra in black. The referees have the players lined up. Rivalry on the River presented by Train is underway, and that's a face-off win for Ladd Harper and Ponte Vedra. Got to love that ground ball play on the wing. Corey Bloss. Corey Bloss is quick. So Ponte Vedra going through their substitution regiment. Jack Reed with the ball. He's easy to spot with those old school black shoes. Looks like he's playing linebacker for Penn State.
And he is a big, big, strong player.
Tara Belletti, number 10 in black for Ponte Vedra. Committed to Denver, top 10 program, Division I. Tara Belletti swinging around to Cruciolo. Brigman, the freshman. So it's a young Ponte Vedra team.
It is on the attack side, and you'll see most of their offense is going to be initiated by the midfielders because that is by far their strong point on offense.
And right on cue, Reed bringing it back.
And I like the patience here. It's the first possession, get everybody involved in the game, get all the jitters out of the way, and start playing lacrosse.
And Tara Belletti trying to get underneath. Left-handed shot. Might have gotten a piece of it, but it did hit the post and goes out of bounds. Possession for Ponte Vedra.
You don't see Joe actually go back to his left hand very much, but that was a quality shot on his off-stick hand.
Josh Griffin, the goalie for Creekside, makes some really nice saves. He's athletic for a big man. Here's Tara Belletti. Got the short stick, isolation. Ponte Vedra, quick ball movement. See how quick Creekside comes on defense. That second slide for backup. Working through those screens and ghost picks. Feed down low, just off the mark. Caracciola, number 15.
I'm really surprised to see that they have a short stick playing against Tarbelletti, and Ponte Vedra notices that as well, and that's the way they're going to start their offense.
They have confidence in Zach Bender. Working off those screens. There's that one more pass. Shot. That was a save.
Nice save.
Griffin with the save. Good look at the cage. Tara Belletti. Oh, they've got some backside opportunities off the mark. Keep an eye off ball for Caracciola.
Yeah, and you'll notice that the Creekside defense, they're sliding early, so they're okay with the matchup right now with Tarbelletti, but they know that defensively they have to slide early. It's just like that.
Playing that two-man game, got to swing it. Look for those hockey assists, those two-pass assists. When that slide comes, there's something open on the backside. Look at the ball just stop. If it would have gone over the midfield line, it would have been a turnover on an over and back call, but the fresh turf here at the Jangro Field at the Episcopal School of Jacksonville keeps it in play. Long possession here for Ponte Vedra. Tara Belletti surveying the field, rolling back to that left hand.
They're going on 3 minutes now of offense, and so that just tells you how well Creekside's playing defensively.
Brigman. Tara Belletti sweeping right-handed. Shot, score! Tara Belletti with the goal, pulls the trigger and finds the back of the net. Ponte Vedra draws first blood.
At some point, Ray, you play too much defense, and you'll see whether they set an on-ball pick for Tarbelletti. He gets over to the front of the cage, has a nice shot, went sidearm low, and was able to beat Griffin.
So, as a goalie, you're trying to direct traffic, you're trying to focus on the ball, you've got a lot of action in front of you, and just a really nice job shooting around his defender, finding the back of the net. That's a face-off violation. That's a second win for Ponte Vedra. Keep an eye on that stat today. Corey Bloss, penetration, ball is deflected, picked up by Amato. Back up by number 7, to Stella. Over to Nace.
So now Ponte Vedra has their second midfield in.
Downhill run by Nace, banging it back through X, and it's out of bounds. Got to get those passes up.
Yeah, if you notice, Brendan Nace was actually, his body language and his movement was going towards the sideline, and he had to throw across his body, and he made a bad pass.
Ponte Vedra is a hard-riding team trying to keep the other opponent in their defensive end, but a successful clear. That's Connor McCord. So Creekside's on offense for the first time today. See if they can maintain possession, let everyone get a touch, and watch these dangerous players. Speaking of dangerous, Mana Wilhelm, number 23. Keep an eye on him. He is dynamic.
He is. He's scheduled to go to Air Force, and he'll see Nolan Parlett quite often in practice. And
opponents today, teammates in the future. Here's Wilhelm. Marked by Joey Luzic. Trying to get to the middle of the field, running into a double team. There's a shot and a save by Parlett. Good rebound, good ground ball by Creekside. Grant McCready. Pollock, shot, score from distance. Jordan Pollock, not bashful from 13 yards.
Yeah, and I think, as a defender in Ponte Vedra, you want to let that shot go in because Nolan makes a lot of those saves, but good shots beat good goalies, and that's the case.
Step down from about 13 yards, skips past Parlett.
You would like to see the defender actually go ahead and throw a poke check as he's shooting and try to get on his hands a little bit.
What that tells me is Creekside's not afraid.
No.
And if you're a Creekside supporter, you have to see that because a lot of times we watch Ponte Vedra play, guys turn down shots, test the goalie. Big goal, small ball, moving fast. Good ground ball. That's a face-off win for Ponte Vedra into the offensive end, trying to create some early offense. Jim, Ponte Vedra's style, if they don't have it right away, they don't mind pulling it out, getting the substitutes in, and setting up their offense.
Yeah, if they have the odd man break, they will go ahead and push the ball, but you're right. They much prefer to, if it's not there, pull it out, go get the one midfield back in. It's a solid, midfield unit, very productive, and play lacrosse 6-on-6. Ponte Vedra's very comfortable doing that.
Here's Taraboletti trying to get to the front. Back to Reed. Reed's going to have a run at that long pole down that left alley. 3 Creekside players coming. That was the right look underneath. Creekside slid 2 guys by accident, I think, but Ponte Vedra couldn't convert. Here's a 4-on-3 opportunity if they hurry. So pretty much a slow break. They didn't push it, didn't force it to the point man or down low, trying to own this possession. There's McCready.
Yeah, on that, in today's game, you like to see the midfielder throw the ball down to attack, then go set a pick right on that attackman's defender, and a lot of times you get a lot of easy goals coming off that pick.
Here the Ponte Vedra defense saying go early on certain players, so we'll keep an eye on Ponte Vedra's slide. They are packed in. They trust their goalie, but do they trust the one-on-one matchups? We'll see how quickly they slide. Here's Wilhelm, Mano Wilhelm. Nice look down low. Off the pick, a good off-ball movement by McCready. Valuing the possession, not trying to force anything. Zach Bender, the lefty, he's going to have a rip and a save by Parlett. See if he hits Reed up top.
No, he will.
That ball's going to hold up. It's okay, play the bounce. I'd like to see that Ponte Vedra attackman contest that ground ball, but a good job by Creekside into the offensive end. Did he run out of bounds? He's down.
I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if he tried to stop, but he got pushed out of bounds and then fell down.
1-1 is our score. 5:31 to go in the first quarter. Quick action here. 1-1 is our score. Nolan Parlett, perfect position, poised. Great shot. Great shot, went down, but Nolan Parlett was there to scoop it up. So focused.
Look at his eyes following the ball every second of the way on that shot.
Got an injury on the field. We're going to go ahead and take a break, an injury timeout. Early here in the final game of Rivalry on the River. Our score is Creekside 1, Ponte Vedra 1. Rivalry on the River, presented by Train.
Today's game, the Rivalry on the River, is brought to you by Train, the CSI companies, Bono's Barbecue, FSCJ, and Duval Motor Company.
See Matt Rambo, plays for the Whip Snakes of the PLL, coaching for Ponte Vedra, lending his expertise to the Sharks offense. 1-1 is our score, 5:25 to go in the first quarter of play. Ponte Vedra ball. Ponte Vedra playing without 2 key players today. Freddie DeMarzo and Maddox Johnson are scratches. They are impact players.
Yeah, they really are, and we always talk about in the game, next player up, right? So this is your opportunity to play quality minutes and get your team a win.
So you've got this midfield of DeStella out there with Nace. Amato behind the cage. Back up top to Nace. Back to looking for DeStella. They're saying move it, keep it hot. DeStella looks like he's got a little pep in his step. Bounces it over to Luzic. He's going to have a rip shot and a score on the run. Finds the back of the net. Corey Bloss.
Corey Bloss. He is quick. You notice he started with the ball, split the double team, got the offense the opportunity to have the ball, and he was just a recipient of Ponte Vedra moving the ball to the open guy. And we talk about dodging downhill, and that's what he did. He's running directly downhill, parallel to the goal, and turned his shoulders and really made a nice shot.
Turn his shoulders. Listen, young lacrosse players, listen to Coach Applegate. Get those shoulders and that momentum going towards the goal. On the run, you get that goalie having to adjust and move a little bit as you're moving.
I know this cam.
Celebrate.
Corey. Goodbye.
2-1, Ponte Vedra on top. 4:39 to go in the first quarter of play. What a week for lacrosse. Rivalry on the river, presented by Train. Nice face-off win for Ruprecht. I think that's his first one of the day.
It is.
There's some contact from the offense. Oh, they had a player to the left. Pollock. Good job keeping that in play by Wilhelm.
So Pollock moved into the area and moved over to Creekside, and he's really helped out that attack unit.
Ian Schultz is going to have a run. Ponte Vedra has an extra defender as a late substitution for Creekside. Sees McCready come on. Back to Schultz. Creekside open right now?
Yeah, they are, and they notice that Ladd's stuck on defense, so they're going to go against the Fogo.
There's a shot from distance. High bounce shot. Parlett went to his knees. The ball went over his shoulder. Couple of goals that Nolan Parlett usually gets.
Yeah, he's not happy about that one. You could see the way he just put his head down, and he wants that one back because he normally eats that up. Deflected right off his stick.
Grant McCready running downhill. I love these goals either off of a pass or off of some movement.
Mm-hmm. And Ponte Vedra, for those of you that haven't watched, they had two freshmen out on the field that time. They had the face-off guy and then Houseman, number 9, and Creekside was able to take advantage of that.
That's another win for Creekside. 2-2 is our score. Zach Bender. Wilhelm trying to run through some checks, protecting his stick. Shot wide. Creekside has some opportunity on the one extra pass. Oh, what a move. Shot, score. Flag down. The goal is good. Boy, that was a nice little move. Quick little split.
Wilhelm is quick.
Showing off. Wait, it's under there somewhere. He's showing off those biceps. Wilhelm. He's confident. Right hand underneath.
Oh, you got a hold on his shoulder, too.
But look at the poise. Where's the body?
Yep.
Number 33's got a good view. Corey Bloss. Man, Wilhelm. Headed to Air Force, as is the goalie Parlett. It'll be a fun battle to watch. Creekside with a lead.
That's 3 face-off wins in a row.
Zach Bender will take over. Colin Mayberry joins him. Wilhelm trying to get to the front. Is it?
You pushed him on the shoulder. It's a valid play.
So Creekside's going to draw the loose ball push that time. So they'll maintain possession. For you new lacrosse fans, if it's a loose ball and it's a push, it's just a change of possession.
And as a coach, if you see your opposing player, you see his back, don't touch him.
Easier said than done for 16, 17, 18-year-old high-energy kids. Here's Colin Mayberry. 2 passes later, Ian Schultz is going to have a run at the shorty. That's Dylan Dean. I like the spacing for Creekside. So many times in high school lacrosse, you'll see guys standing in the same area, making it easy to defend. Patience by Creekside. They've got a lead. They're gaining some confidence. 2:33 to go in the first quarter. There's a shot. Parlett's got to stay on his feet. He almost went down again. And we've noticed, we've watched enough games here, the ball does come up.
Yeah, and when you play on this turf, you're going to get that high bounce shot, so you cannot go down too early.
Zach Bender. Nice hedge on defense by Corey Bloss. Jammed up the area.
Dangerous pass, but it was successful.
Wilhelm on to Stella. Little backdoor sneak, almost got open. Wilhelm running through some checks. No shot clock in high school lacrosse. Referees have the discretion if they think there's an intentional stall. Very rare, especially early in a game.
Bender is just a confident player out there. He likes to have the ball. He likes to be in the middle of the field.
It might draw 2 fouls
I
here.
think so, maybe 3.
So Ponte Vedra losing a little bit of composure here. They're used to being in the lead. They're down right now, and Creekside's being patient, and sometimes you just get a little over anxious.
You do, and DeStella's trying to make a play, and he just
Under the chin.
Yeah, and then another cross check to the head.
This is a rough sport, Jim.
And then
around the neck.
pull down.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
that's the one. That's the one that's
no.
gonna, that's the one that's going to cost him.
Was it all the same player? That's another
Yes,
question.
it
So
was.
one player is going to be man down for a long time. Roman DeStella. Let's let the referee sort it out.
2 fouls on the same player. Black 4, slash, 1 minute. Black 4, slash, 1 minute. They're both releasable.
They didn't get the unsportsmanlike.
No.
So Ponte Vedra should feel good for 2 reasons. It was the same player, and they only called 2 out of 3.
That's right. So it's
Well, Creekside's got a good man up. That's one thing. They've got 6 players who can spin the ball right now and shoot the ball.
yeah, their starting 6 are very good.
This is when you want to rely on that goalie Parlett. Creekside just open, spinning around from distance. He went down again, and the ball came up. I think he got a piece of it.
He just barely got his top hand on that ball. I should say bottom hand.
Zach Bender, Coach Alford calling reset. Plenty of time. Staying your man up is the point he's trying to make. Run the man up. Shot from distance. Could just let Coach Alford call the game.
Yeah, I know. Good advice.
I love it.
Plenty of time, set up something.
He is such a good guy and a good coach. Still coaches youth in season. He's just one of those guys, unsung hero, giving back to the game so often. Oh, Parlett puts the attackman on the ground. Ponte Vedra comes up with the ball.
Get it to the midi.
There he is. Here comes Dylan Dean. Dylan Dean with a head of steam across the midfield line. Timeout, Ponte Vedra. I like that timeout. You just settle down. I don't know if they had an opportunity for a man-down offense, but that is a good momentum swing for Ponte Vedra.
Yeah, you make a stop. You're man down, and Coach West, rightly so, he wants to get his offensive players. He's got a couple of good options to start with the ball.
We'll see what Coach West
It's a
and Coach
timeout
Francis
for
have to
Ponte
say.
Vedra.
Nice and wide, Joe.
Here with
If they
37
double, you
seconds
can
to go in the
If not, just
first
sit back and keep it
quarter
back.
of
You can only
Rivalry
split
on the
double
River,
if they're gonna
presented
double.
by
Got it?
Train.
That's it.
They're going to
Okay, so they're expecting the double
They're not
team.
gonna
Wait 1 second.
Let's go.
Parlett just told me, he said the bounce is real hard to read from a goalie, so if you want to test the earth a little bit, go ahead.
Yeah, let's go. Players in front. Let's go.
All right, give Joe lots of space. Got it? Yep.
Low three. 1, 2, 3.
So as we suspected, the turf is giving some tricky bounces, and that was some advice from the goalie for Ponte Vedra to his offense. Test the earth.
And these two teams, they both play on grass, so the turf is a new dynamic, especially in lacrosse with those high bouncers. If you're not used to it, you'll see the goalie go down on your knees, and next thing you know, the ball's over your head.
And even with artificial turf, there's so many different textures of turf. Like this is fluffy and thick and takes some funny spins. You'll have some harder ones that's more like playing on real earth. So it'll be interesting. So a man down offensive set. It's short time, 37 seconds left in the quarter, so another reason for that timeout. Get the right personnel on the field and try to tie this game up. So Taraboletti is going to decide whether he wants to split the double team. Heard Coach West say give him a lot of space. So many goals come off of this double team. The slides are different. Everyone out. Clear it out for Joe. Oh, there's a nice double team, triple team, quadruple team, and there's the ball. Hold it for possession. See if they hold it. Off the iron.
Now they'll hold it.
Yeah, so Ponte Vedra is going to get the backup in the possession. So if they hold it, there'll be no face-off for the second quarter. That was a very assertive, confident move to the cage, and the iron just got in the way.
Yeah, Jack Reed is, he's a big, strong player, so he's going to take that shot every time.
So Ponte Vedra is going to run out the clock here on the quarter, and they'll maintain possession. No face-off for the second quarter, which is very key when you're man down. And there it is. There's the horn for the end of the first quarter of play, and what a quarter it was. 3-2 is our score. Creekside on top of Ponte Vedra.
Ponte Vedra 2.
Let's go, come on.
It's Rivalry on the River, brought to you by Train. Back to Jangro Field at the Episcopal School of Jacksonville. It is Rivalry on the River presented by Train. I am Ray Carnicelli at Lax904 on Twitter, joined by the coach, Jim Applegate. Jim, you and I have both watched these programs. Our sons all played for these programs at Ponte Vedra. We've seen this rivalry. This is, I forget what year it was. I know our boys were seniors when that game, the district final, went to overtime, and your son Ryan did not want that game to end, as did Brad Jorgensen, the other goalie for Creekside. And this has that same type of feel, even though it's not a district playoff game.
It really does, Ray, and we knew Creekside was good, and they're actually come out today and showing that how good they really are.
So Taraboletti with the ball. Looks like Creekside is content to let this penalty run out. Taraboletti's not. Spins back. He's going to have it go, and a check came in. Let's see, that was number 20 for Creekside on the check. JoJo Pollock.
That was a nice back check by JoJo Pollock. He stayed with, even though he was beat, he stayed on Tarboletti's back shoulder and got able to get a successful check.
Keep an eye on number 19. I kid around with you and my other partner, Chris Milo, about Love and Corbett. He just is dynamic. I'd like to see him be a little more assertive. That's number 19 in black, but he's a nice complement to Reed and Taraboletti on this line.
He is very good. He's just needs to work on his consistency, Ray. He's had some really good games, and he's had some games where he struggled.
There's Taraboletti down that right alley, looking. Boy, Reed looked open on the crease.
There were two guys on the crease that were open.
I think that was Brigman was the other one. There's Corbett. Ball's not moving as quick as we've become accustomed to see Ponte Vedra move it.
No, they look a little hesitant right now. I'm not sure if they're just trying to feel out this defense.
There's Reed working it through X. Keep it hot. There's a feed to the crease. He was there. Brigman was there.
It was a good look inside. Just Brigman couldn't handle the pass.
Oh, Taraboletti. How'd he hold on to it? He still got it behind the back shot and a score! Joe Taraboletti!
He's a one-man wrecking machine, right?
I don't know how he kept the ball on his stick, but
it's those deep pockets, it's offset heads, and he just spun around, and we talk about
little skill too, Jim?
Oh yeah, a lot of skill.
A lot of skill.
But we also talk about there's a time and place for behind your back, and you'll notice, and you'll notice that he stayed on his feet, was able to spin through the defense. His angle was taken away, so he shoots behind the back to increase his angle and goes and scores a nice goal.
A lot of chasing of sticks by the defense.
It was.
You want to get on the hip and the gloves and the body.
Learning opportunity for Coach Alford tomorrow.
3-3.
He's an animal.
That's the name.
Taraboletti, that's actually Italian for he's an animal. 3-3 is our score.
So, Ray, Ladd won the first couple of face-offs, and Rupert, I think, has won the last 4. So this has been back and back.
That's a good possession shot. I mean, we say possession shot. It's okay that it missed, I guess is what I'm saying. You got the face-off guy in there. They got possession. They can make their substitutions and rest their defense a little bit.
Joey's really leaning. He's got to watch out because nice back check.
Beautiful back check. Joey Luzick puts the ball on the ground. Parlett controls. We've got a whistle. What'd you hear there?
I think Coach West called timeout.
I keep forgetting you can call it from anywhere in high school lacrosse.
Yes, you can. In the college, you have to be inside the offensive box. In high school, you can call a timeout anywhere on the field.
Let's go.
Woo, sorry. Get inside the Ponte Vedra huddle. Coach Rambo. So, Jim, Ponte Vedra's offense, you see a lot of two-man game. Explain to me the difference between a ghost screen and a pick.
Cut and do whatever you do at the pop. Middies, get ready to go down. If you got pass it down to Nancy, we got big body down there for Nancy to turn the corner.
So,
No more.
chicken tenders in. Chicken tenders in. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Just get out, let Nancy touch it and go.
Hey, that's all we need to do.
We don't need number 2. Hey, we probably got to balance out these
There's some insight. Balance out the midfield lines. Put chicken tender in.
Yeah, well, chicken tender is going to be get the ball to Corey Bloss and have him clear the ball right now.
Is that what does that mean? I mean,
it's their number one midfield that they want to have in right now.
Okay. And you heard Coach West explaining to Coach Rambo, let's balance up the midfields. That means you don't have your 3 top on the same line. And there you go.
Corey Bloss he is so fast. We saw him last week beat a double team and go down and score. And
they're not going to cover him. He's going to go down and score. That was too easy.
We've seen that before, and he's only a sophomore, Ray, and he's got a lot of upside potential.
The seas parted. Corey Bloss walked right in, stuck it in his left hand.
Coast to coast, as they say.
Okay, there it is.
Pick the ball up, run past your attackman.
He's at the 30. He's at the 40. He's across the midfield line. He could go all the way.
Yep.
Goal, Corey Bloss.
And he's so smart, right? He looks at a short stick defender that's actually backpedaling against him. He knows he can run by him, and he actually that's all he did. It was smart, heady play.
Love this view on these 2 top face-off guys. Mucked it up, and ground ball initially for Ponte Vedra. It's not dead yet. Not dead yet. Come on, Pollock. Got to get some team ground balls. Somebody take the man, somebody take the ball.
There's a freshman playing right there, and Houseman did a good job staying with it, and now you know why he got on the field. Oh, failure to advance.
Because they initially won that face-off, the clock was counting.
Yeah, they won it on their offensive side, so they have 10 seconds to get it inside their offensive box, and that was an ill-advised pass.
Griffin turns it over. Ponte Vedra, they thrive. They thrive in the unsettled. Shot Griffin with the save.
Redemption. Redemption for Griffin. Throw the ball away and make a great save.
Yeah, just pad my stats. Timeout, Alford.
Good call, Coach.
Love this field level mic.
It is.
4-3 is our score. Ponte Vedra on top. Coach Alford calls the timeout. Value that possession. You can't take it with you. Go ahead and use it. 4-3 is our score. 8:41 to go. We're going to stay with you through this timeout. So what do you think so far? What's your just perception? Just as who's got the upper hand right now?
I don't think anyone. I think this is an evenly matched game. I think, if anything, Creekside all of a sudden realized they can play with Ponte Vedra.
Listen. Mayberry, Creedy, Ian. Let's go, boys. Mayberry, Creedy, same one on different video, okay? All right. Mayberry, Creedy, Ian. All right. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Pretty simple.
Yep.
Value the possession. Catch your breath.
Let's go.
And so, if you listen, Coach Alford, what he did is he just moved Manna Willingham to the midfield to try to catch a better matchup for him, and so be expecting him to get the ball here.
So Creekside ball, trailing the defending state champs, Ponte Vedra. Because last year was interrupted, they are still the defending state champs. Nice play by Ian Schultz, carried across the midfield line through some hard ride from Ponte Vedra.
Anytime a midfielder sees an attackman trying to ride through him, he's going to run.
There's Wilhelm. Back to Mayberry.
And Coach Polanski, he likes the fact that DeStella's a good matchup for Wilhelm, and we'll see how that goes.
So Creekside being patient, working it behind the goal. There's Mayberry. Schultz to Wilhelm. They're in no hurry. They're going to attack that short stick. Oh, he was thinking shot, and the ball is on the ground. Might be a little hold there for loose ball hold.
You think?
Looks like they got stuck together. I don't think that was a grab.
No. Oh.
That one gets called. That swing and miss gets called every once in a while.
It
Taraboletti gets the ball on offense. Here comes his line mates, Reed.
And this time they put a pole on Tarbaletti. I think Coach Alford's had enough of him going against a short stick defensive midi.
Back up to Reed. Over to Corbett. Corbett's going to have a run. Left-handed cradle, splits back to his left. Taraboletti, time, space, shot wide. Sidearm shot, yanked it wide.
I thought he was going to go up top left, but
Ponte Vedra maintains possession, working it back up top in their all-black uniforms, silver helmets. Here's Reed. Vermont, is that where he's headed?
he is going to Vermont, yes.
To Taraboletti, so we got a couple D1 guys out there on midfield. There's a shot, time room wide.
So now this is the ball movement we were expecting earlier in the game, where Ponte Vedra is quickly getting the ball to the backside. They dodge down one side, get the ball to the backside, and they've had two quality looks on the cage.
Oh, Taraboletti's got some room. Those checks are coming in a little high, drawing the double team, keeping the ball moving. Looked like Amato wanted to shoot before he caught it.
You have another case. Got to catch the ball to shoot it.
Reed gets it back. He's going to have a go, or not.
Look at the way the defender, lifted his hands and couldn't shoot through that.
Nate Watson. They're drawing the double team. Creekside's recovering on the backside well. There's a riser off the mark.
But again, Creekside's getting Ponte Vedra to shoot from angles that are really tough to, either you're going to hit the goalie, you have a hard time hitting the cage.
Here in timeout call. Because it was a dead ball timeout. Creekside can go ahead and call it.
You look like Sam Green's stick broke and he was running off the field, and Coach Alford didn't want to be a man down on that play.
So with that timeout by Creekside, we're going to go ahead and take a break. It's Rivalry on the River presented by Train. Our score is Ponte Vedra 4, Creekside 3, with 6:16 remaining in the half. We're back to Rivalry on the River presented by Train. I'm Ray Carnicelli, joined by Jim Applegate. Every Sunday morning on 1010XL at 10 a.m. It's This Week in North Florida Lacrosse. And Jim, big news. We're still the #1 rated lacrosse show in all of North Florida.
For how many years now, Ray?
I can't remember. But tomorrow morning, we're going to recap Rivalry on the River. We're going to talk about JU's conference win against VMI. We're going to have Coach Brian Duncan to give us an update on Division II next year, Flagler College. Very impressive. And we're going to take your calls and questions. It's going to be a great show tomorrow, too, so be sure to tune in 10 a.m., 1010XL. Back to the action here. Rivalry on the River, presented by Train.
And Coach Alford went back with the short stick against Tarbaletti.
There's Reed running through some checks. That's Pollock throwing them. Taraboletti over to Corbett. Move it. Inside move, well defended.
He stepped in the crease.
That was Dominic Buca. Beautiful defense.
It was, and Nace he thought he had the inside track, but it shut quickly.
Buca's a big guy, and he took a perfect angle, got in the hip, and the only place for that inside roll to go was inside the crease.
Yeah, and that's a staple for Coach Alford. He really does a good job coaching up the defense.
How did that ball not come out? You talked about the stick technology, meaning baggy stick. Normally that ball's on the ground. It stayed in, so credit to Creekside and Ian Schultz on that clear. Wilhelm's got the shorty.
If it were summertime, we would be saying it's a summer stick with an illegal pocket, but that ball just stayed in there.
There's Wilhelm down the alley. He's going to have a look, shot wide.
So that was the maneuver that Coach Alford made at halftime, at the timeout. We saw him put Wilhelm up top, and so I would expect him to initiate a lot of the offense now.
Like to see that on cage. You're not going to get a good look. Good inside move, splitting the triple team. Ground ball, Ponte Vedra. Takedown, no call. Unsettled situation for Creekside. Split back to his left hand. Shot, bounces it over the cage. That was a nice split by Zach Bender. Got to hit the target, hit the goal. Opportunity for Creekside, high bounce shot. Parlett goes down, ball goes up.
And right now, Nolan Parlett is hating the turf.
Is that Ethan Binns? I'm trying to get a number on that. I believe it was Binns. Don't call his name a lot, but I will tell you, as a goalie, you have to attack the ball. You have to try to get it at the bounce. You can't wait for it to bounce. You might need to go play a little bit of a higher arc.
Yeah, I think so. And I think if you do that, then the ball, if you go to bounce the ball, it's going to go over the cage instead of in the cage.
Yep. There's different styles, and not to say one's better than another, but you do have to make adjustments.
Mm-hmm. But Ethan Binns, he saw the fact that there was no one on him, and he just cut to the cage, and it was a nice, catch and shot.
Guess what? 4-4. When you think rivalry, you think Ponte Vedra Creekside, and it's 4-4. Rivalry on the river presented by Train. Good end-to-end action. Punches and counter punches and haymakers. And
So Ponte Vedra threw out their second Avi Israel at the faceoff, and he comes up with a faceoff win, giving Ladd a little break.
Yeah, that change of pace does cause some confusion. Guys get in rhythms and habits. So you see Nace back out there. Early double. Swinging it around, looking for this matchup with Bloss, working it through X to Amato.
Boy, if Nace cuts to the cage on that, there's nobody to guard him.
So DeStella's going to back out and take a run from the midfield line on the long pole.
Looks like Ponte Vedra's content with keeping the ball on the outside, and Creekside is okay with them doing that as well.
3:50 to go, 4-4. Here comes Nace, rolls back to his left, takeaway check. Ball is on the ground, picked up by Creekside. Eden Marcus.
When you roll as a midfielder, we always say you got to put your stick to the sideline, or otherwise you're going to get back checked.
Alert play for Creekside. Player was running off. Unsettled situation, opportunity for Creekside. They did not want to pass it to the wide open Brock Posey. Now he gets it. He was open to the right.
He was.
He wasn't calling for it, so he was okay with it.
And as a coach, you're okay with them pulling the ball out. You got a tie game, 3 minutes left in the half, and get your offensive set in there and get a good look at the cage.
It almost sounded like Creekside tried to get a timeout there. They didn't get it. It turns out okay. Here's a jailbreak for Creekside as Wilhelm comes out of the box. Shot saved by Parlett. Came out and scooped that one up.
Yeah, that was a low running bounce shot, and you want to go overhand after you've been seeing Nolan Parlett go to his knees.
Initiating contact in transition. That was Bloss. Physical defense by Creekside. Loose ball push against Creekside. Ponte Vedra ball.
And you can hear Coach Alford telling him to go against Corey Bloss because he's seen enough of Corey last time he went end to end and took a shot.
When you mean go, you mean slide two?
Yes.
2:34 to go in the half. Tied at 4. Ponte Vedra ball. Boy, this is fun. You've got two teams that today are evenly matched. Different styles, same result. 4-4. There's Taraboletti taking some body blows. Looking, dumps it off to Reed.
Boy, if he has a stick in his right hand, he has an opportunity to shoot.
There's a shot and a save. Griffin with a save, rebound, scooped wide. Reed's there to back it up. That was a beautiful save.
It was.
The rebound wrist shot went wide. Ponte Vedra backs it up. Reed from Axe on the long pole, running through it. Did you see 4 Creekside players collapsed?
Yeah, they knew who had the ball. Jack Reed was getting ready to go to the cage.
Caracciolo running down. There's so much attention around the ball. There's got to be somebody open somewhere. I don't see him though. Creekside recovers so well.
They do. There's opportunities inside.
There's Taraboletti, double teamed. Backhanded flip to Reed. There's a shot, wide. Griffin went down to his knees that time. Nice pass from Taraboletti to Reed, just off the mark. Caracciolo back to Corbett. Physical collision. Trail check comes in. Creekside throwing checks. Get it to your goal. He's out of the crease. So he's going to be under heavy pressure here. Can't go back in the crease. Timeout. If you have a timeout,
No, he doesn't.
He
doesn't have any more. Does he?
Yeah, I think he
Oh,
does.
he does?
They talked
Oh,
about it.
okay.
The referee didn't give him one earlier.
Okay.
So
Good
what
call.
a break. Coach Alford gets a save on that one. Josh Griffin made some nice saves down there, but found himself in trouble.
Everybody bring it in.
And one of the reasons he got in trouble was he received that ball outside of the crease.
Everybody.
If you keep one toe in the crease,
Everybody
you're in the crease.
needs to relax.
Everybody get on this side. Everybody get on that side. Coach is over here.
Coach, yeah, everyone look at me. Relax. Sideline, relax. We're playing our game. They got 3 lucky fucking bouncers.
So there is Terabaletti. Good contact. Look at the white shirts around, just collapsing.
I just love how aggressive the defense is being.
I would like to see Griffin receive that ball in the crease. Like I said, even if you have 1 foot in the crease, extend it out, then you buy yourself some time and can use your crease to maneuver.
Lacrosse is about. Let's step up, rise to the occasion. Bigs and valleys, boys. Let's
everyone
go.
take relax. Everyone relax. Let's play fast.
Let's
Let's
go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 6, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 6, 2.
Relax and play fast. It's hard to do at the same time.
It is.
4-4 is our score, approaching halftime. I got to tell you, we've seen some great goalie play at Rivalry on the River, and Josh Griffin is picking up where so many others have left off this week.
Yeah, we saw him play against Bowles, and he was not this sharp, but he really stepped up his game tonight.
Yeah, so you look at Griffin there. I hope he doesn't feel bad about what just happened, because he didn't let in a goal.
Yeah, Josh.
He had his head down a little bit. It's just another learning opportunity. You look at these two teams. One of the big differences in high school lacrosse is their clearing ability, and these two teams clear it very well. It's about stick skills, it's about spacing, and a little IQ helps a little bit too. So Creekside's going to attempt the last shot here. It's tied, 30 seconds to go. Will it be tied at halftime? Why the bounce pass? They threw a bounce pass which puts goofy spin on it, and the ball is on the ground.
There's no reason for that.
Break for Creekside as they're going to get the ball back with 18 seconds. We're going to have a clock reset here, I think.
Hey, roll it right now. Go, go, go. D, 22. D. Yell it. X. Get to X.
Referee's coming over.
Reset the game's clock to 19 seconds.
Oh, they're going to put 1.1 seconds back on the clock.
Hey, sometimes that's all you need to put the ball in the back of the net.
So, Jim, isolate Wilhelm or try to figure out something off ball?
Yeah. They've been doing a 2-man game all day, and doesn't look like they're going to try that. They're going to let Bender go and take a run at Marco Sardinas.
10 seconds to go.
Marco's a senior pole for Ponte Vedra.
Nice move, shot wide. Oh, they're getting looks. These sidearm shots drive coaches crazy. 3.5 seconds to go. Creekside with the ball behind the cage. Feed to the crease. It's caught, shot, save, Parlett. What a great save, and what a good opportunity for Creekside.
Tie game going into half.
Gotta love it. Shots, save, goals, hits. We got it all here. It's Rivalry on the River, presented by Train. We are at the half, tied at 4. It's halftime at Rivalry on the River, presented by Train. You see the Ponte Vedra players pleased with the way that they created some offense and held it down on defense. We're going to go ahead and throw it back to Joel Lamp at Rivalry on the River.
It's Rivalry on the River, presented by Train. We are live at halftime here at Jane Grove Stadium. Creekside and Ponte Vedra, the premier rivalry on the First Coast, tied at 4 at halftime. Hello, everybody. We're at the CSI Company's update desk. I'm Joel Lamp, and joined now by our friend Joe Nagy from Train. And Joe, this has been a great game, a great way to kind of round out a great day of lacrosse.
Oh, for sure. Especially, I've never seen a lacrosse game before. This is awesome.
This has been a fantastic day. 4 great games. We appreciate y'all's support to make this event happen, but and especially for you guys, this is a busy time of year as AC units get turned back on again. I know mine hasn't been on for 4 months, and now all of a sudden you turn it back on. There's all sorts of things that can happen. This has got to be a busy time for you guys right now.
For sure. Yeah, definitely the weather peaked this week, and the best thing to do is contact your local serviceman, whoever you like the best, and just have them go over the system, change your filters. That's probably the easiest thing you can do at home that most people don't, is change your filter.
Change your filter. It sounds so easy, but it's so hard just to remember. As we get into that hot season, is that the only thing to recommend to homeowners now as we start turning our ACs back on and trying to get that comfort factor back in?
For sure. The filter is going to be number one. Reaching out to your service contractor, cleaning your coils, just going over once over the system. And then you can, obviously with what we're dealing with in the world, we can always look at ways to improve air quality, either with higher filtration or different ways to make the air cleaner for you.
You guys have a lot of products, and you're a big member of the community. In supporting this year's event, it's not just a one-off thing. This is the DNA of Train here in Jacksonville. Talk a little bit about that culture of giving back that you guys have in the community.
Sure. So, for me personally, it's what we're called to do, right? To support our community, to foster relationships, and to develop the next generation. And so, an event like this, an organization like 912, right? This is like you said, it's in our DNA. I love to do this.
Awesome. Well, Joe, thank you very much. You picked a great night to take in your first lacrosse game. It's an instant classic right now, tied at 4.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Joe. That's Joe Nagy from our friends at Train. It's halftime of Rivalry on the River, presented by Train. At halftime, we are tied at 4. We'll return in just a moment. We are back. It's the nightcap of our quadruple header of lacrosse, Rivalry on the River, presented by Train, brought to you by our friends at Jacksonville High School 912. We're live at the CSI Company's update desk. Joel Lamp and Lee Rogenberg. And Lee, a great first half, an instant classic. Both teams throwing haymakers, and it's tied at 4 here at halftime. There's no separation between these two rivals right now.
No, it's playing out very similar to what we sort of discussed before the game. I expected a bit of a low-scoring game, and we have gotten that definitely, but it's not because the offenses aren't getting their looks. But what is happening is that the defenses are forcing the offense a little bit further out of their comfort zones. You've really not seen anything inside in the first half, but you've certainly seen a lot of outside shots.
Here's some highlights from the first half. That goal by Joe Taraboletti, he was on fire in the first half. But Creekside answered. Jordan Pollock with the goal there.
Yep. I wanted people who was watching these clips to watch in particular these high bounce shots. I think that Creekside is certainly focused on trying to do this. Nolan Parlett is known for being very good low, and to try to kick a bounce shot up high is one way that you attack a goalie who's good low. Okay, now the other things that I've kind of noticed is that most of these goals have been scored on individual efforts. There's only been one assist in the entire game, and that's kind of what you have with teams that have the ability to shoot from outside, going down the alley and finding corners. But both goalies have made some very key saves in this. Creekside is holding their own at the face-off, and basically the stats are pretty even at halftime.
We've had an even game thus far. We are tied at 4 at halftime here at the Rivalry on the River presented by Train. We've had 3 great games thus far, and we have enjoyed. We said before the game, we finally got done with the appetizers. We got the main feast. What are we going to see in the second half, Lee?
I really think the first 5 minutes of the third quarter will really set the tone as far as how we're going to see this play out. I expect Ponte Vedra to try to come out and jump and get out back in front by a couple of goals. If Creekside is tied at the end of the third quarter, this could be quite the ending.
Well, we look forward to a whale of a finish here to the Rivalry on the River, the inaugural one here on the banks of the St. Johns River. Brought to you by our friends at Jacksonville High School 912. Second half coming up next.
Welcome back to Rivalry on the River, presented by Train. Our score is Ponte Vedra 4, Creekside 4. Low-scoring game, but a lot of action.
It really is. Both defenses are playing really solid, flying to the ball, double-teaming quickly for the offense, and making the offense work for every goal that they get.
You and I talk a lot about valuing possession, using your timeouts properly, being patient, making good decisions. We've seen that today.
Yeah, we really have, and on both sides of the ball, too. And, we saw our Coach Alford actually save a goal by calling timeout when his goalie was in trouble. And Coach West did the same thing when Ponte Vedra got in trouble as well.
So let's go ahead and look into the future. What does Creekside need to do to win this game?
I think, to me, it's Wilhelm, and I would just keep on setting picks for him and getting him into good spots, to shoot. From Ponte Vedra, they have looks. They have looks inside that have been open. Creekside's kind of playing like heavy on the midfield, but they're kind of zoning up in the back, and they're not respecting the Ponte Vedra attackmen. But there are people that are open off of their early slides. So
we've seen Josh Griffin make some nice saves for Creekside. Parlette's been a little bit hit and miss, and he has the potential for changing this game, and I expect him to. He understands what's happening. He's got some experienced coaches out there to get in his ear a little bit, and he's a competitor.
He is, and what did he do the whole entire halftime? He was juggling 3 balls because he knows he needs to focus on the balls, and he's going to come out ready to play.
So we're ready for the second half face-off, a critical aspect of this game, and a legal procedure is going to be awarded to Ponte Vedra.
Streaks of face-offs. Rupert lost a bunch early, then won a bunch in the middle, and then now the swing's back to Ponte Vedra.
And that was Israel out there for Ponte Vedra, so that change-up, the ability to move 2 quality guys in there, gets in Rupert's head a little bit. Ponte Vedra has the ball.
And it keeps you fresh, too, right? It keeps your players, involved and fresh.
So Ponte Vedra takes over on offense. That's Nace. Over to Reed. Back to Nace. He's going to take a run at that short stick. Corbett. Just feeling him out. That's a step-down shot. Nope. Me as a goalie, I shoot everything in my mind. They all go in, too.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, sometimes you're just trying to get the perfect shot, and when you just should be shooting the ball.
Taraboletti and Corbett having a catch. Not giving up anything on the inside right now. They have it locked down.
Yeah, Ponte
really
Vedra,
good support on the backside.
Ponte Vedra went into 1-4-1. They got 2 guys on the crease, trying to take advantage of the aggressiveness of Creekside on their early slides.
They are just feeling them out right now, slowing it down. 10:40, long possession for Ponte Vedra. See if they can maintain that patience.
You notice that the offensive players on Ponte Vedra, they'll keep their stick by their head when they have the ball. This way they can get a pass off really, really quickly.
Corbett powers in.
It's staying in. Good ground ball by Sean Kutcher early.
Here's Reed swinging it around. He's going to go lefty. Back to his right. Quick double team. Way to move the ball. Shot save.
Great save.
Josh Griffin scooped it up. That was a good look, good ball movement for Ponte Vedra. And Griffin with the save of the game.
Good offense and better goaltending.
Make the easy pass and make it early.
Ooh, dangerous pass, but it was completed.
That was a nice grab by Schultz. Now Schultz is into the offensive end. Marked by Corbett. That was a great grab. Little plays, the little plays. Value the possession, keep the possession. Griffin stole one, and now Creekside has it back on offense. Hear the settle call from the Creekside bench. We saw Ponte Vedra with a long, drawn-out possession. Here's an opportunity for Creekside, feeding down low. Good next pass. Couldn't connect. Buck Bennett was sneaking around with that left hand. Got a whistle.
He's trying to put the ball in the right spot to restart. Well, Creekside had the look that they wanted. They just couldn't make the pass.
So Ponte Vedra brings it across the midfield line. Are they on? Yeah, they had a guy back. That wasn't even close. Just being safe.
Here's my pet peeve, Ray. The long stick middies coming down the field, and defender lets the attackman leak out to the sideline for an easy outlet pass.
Conceding the clear. The bane of Coach Applegate's existence. One of many on the lacrosse field.
As an attackman, I love when my defensemen do it. As a coach, I cannot stand it.
Here's an opportunity for Ponte Vedra. There's swim dodge, move, shot wide.
Yep. You'll notice Josh Griffin is really playing a high arc. You mentioned earlier where bounce shots on this turf tend to go over the cage when you play a high arc, and that's what Griffin is doing. That's why he's been able to make so many good saves.
Shot, another good save, and it spins back in. Oh, he made the save. Will Corbett let it rip, almost identical to the previous possession where Corbett shot it and Griffin made the save, and it just took a 180 turn.
That's a classic turf goal. Griffin made a great save. The ball went straight down off his body and it had so much backspin it went over the end line, over the goal line, just and trickled in.
That was almost a yard and a half upfield off the goal line and came all the way back.
Turf does crazy things, and that's a prime example.
So Will Corbett is on the board.
You got lucky, right?
Better be lucky than good, Coach West.
Hey,
or both.
Hey, when you pound the cage, good things happen.
Oh, look at his stick is so bent right now. That stick is sideways. Yeah, you can't make a pass. His stick was pointed in the wrong direction.
Well, I don't even know where he was throwing the ball. Oh, that's a push.
Looked like one of those highlight thingamajobs.
Yep.
Heavy pressure. Will it stay in?
Good ride by Creekside.
Got to tell you, Ian Schultz is coming up with a lot of ground balls and starting the transition. Wilhelm, protect that stick, left-handed shot to score! Wilhelm showing the lefty-righty skill, and Creekside answers.
Yeah, they do. That was a really good move by Wilhelm. Just seeing the open space. We always talk about early offense, and that's a case right there.
You talk about not hanging your stick in traffic either. Right hand gets underneath, left hand bounces it past Parlett. Parlett's on the ground on a lot of these goals.
Yeah, he does have a tendency to do that.
Jim, the skill to make that starting the dodge right-handed and splitting back to your left hand and not hanging your stick.
Yeah, he kept the defender on his hip and did not give him an opportunity to trail check.
Good battle for the face-off. Ruprecht and Harper.
We're letting these kids battle, that's for sure.
So it's free as the ball went into the box. Got a scrum.
Run to space.
Comes up with it.
Right, when you get a ground ball, you run to space and good things happen.
Space for Nace. Moves it over to Houseman.
Houseman's a freshman for Ponte Vedra, so he's on the face-offs to get the ball and get possession like he did and get the starting offense out.
So the starting midfield, the first middies are out there. Taraboletti, Reed, and Corbett.
There's the ghost pick that you like to talk about.
Just trying to make that defense make decisions and hopefully make the wrong decision and just get them a little bit confused. Taraboletti, who's space. Oh, he went high that time, just over the cage.
Yep, and that time Creekside did not have an opportunity to slide, and Taraboletti got a good shot off.
So Reed's going to have a run, left-handed cradle, through pressure, rolls back to his right. He's got to look, bangs it back through X, feed to the backside. Oh, Corbett was shooting before he caught it again. That was a nice feed.
It was. Great look on the backside, just got to catch and shoot.
Caracciolo. Over to Nace. Nace with the sweep. Throws back to Tarboletti.
Decides to pull it out, get a two-man game going here on the side.
Defender dropped the stick. Nice second slide. And that's going to be off Ponte Vedra. Jim, the first slide is pretty easy. You know who's going to go most of the time, but the second slide is a thing of beauty. Good team defense for Creekside.
So it was off Ponte Vedra, but they're calling Creekside for a hold, so the ball's going to go back to Ponte Vedra. So it was a loose ball hold on Creekside. They're going to be playing 6-on-6.
Ponte Vedra will bring the ball in from the back left position. There's Brock Brigman. Over to Reed. Coach Rambo shouting instructions. Reed trying to get underneath. Back to Brigman. Up top to Nace. Got the shorty. Over to Reed. He's got a look. Shot. Deflection. Post or goalie?
I'm going to say goalie. But Ray, between me and you, I'm no longer shooting low on Griffin.
Keep it going forward. The clearing machine. Ian Schultz into the offensive end. Battling through checks. Shot. Flag down. Flag down. Boy, Schultz is impressive. He is an athlete with lacrosse skill.
He's got some speed. He's got a good feel for the game, and decided he was going to run down the field and get a quality shot.
As we go to break, we're going to see Schultz taking it from end to end. Good opportunity. Gets the shot off, draws the penalty, and we are at the break 5-5. It's Rivalry on the River, presented by Train. Coach Alford and the Creekside
They're using
Knights.
Tim as a decoy right now on far side. When they yell "Go Joe," that's when they're setting it up far side. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Nice.
Let's go, man.
Love being in the huddle.
Yeah, it's you get some great insights by the coaches and what they're thinking about and what they're seeing out there. And that point, they were trying to make the point that Joe Tarboletti was being a decoy, and they were really trying to get the ball to the backside for an open look.
The other thing it does is it gives you the temperature and the energy of the teams. And you saw Schultz run off after drawing that penalty. You would have thought he just scored the winning goal.
I know.
That's how intense it is.
But when you draw a penalty like that and you know you're going man up, you deserve to run off the field and be excited about it.
Rivalry on the River presented by Train. Ray Carnicelli and Jim Applegate enjoying the action. We hope you are. If you don't, check your pulse.
That is not the play you want to have.
Creekside throws it away. Jordan Pollock.
Better
ball
go to
was
the ball.
intended to him. Now here's some trouble. Here's some trouble. That's a push.
10 seconds.
They're not going to call it. Timeout. Heard the timeout call.
Yes, Coach West called the timeout.
Luke Lowry came up with that ground ball. I don't know how that's not a push, but it's not a push.
Ray, we talk all the time about catching the ball with your feet, and there's that time the midi had an opportunity to take a couple of steps to catch the ball in the air, and he decided to let it bounce and play the bounce.
5-5 is our score. Busy week for lacrosse. We'll hear what Coach Polanski has to say.
Right. Roman.
We're man down.
Yep. Roman gonna go to the face-off X, all right, and creep the step over. If Corey carries, stretch your ass back here so we can dust the 2-on-1. We got it? Love on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
So there you have it. It's a man down clear. They're going to try to create a little confusion at the midfield line.
Yeah.
Coach Alford's asking for how much time's remaining in the penalty.
Check out all the highlights.
And this is Corey Bloss' time. Last time Ponte Vedra had a man down and had the ball on their defensive end. He was able to split the double team. And we talked earlier today about the best way to beat a double team is to split them. So we'll see if Creekside decides to stretch us with a double.
So keep an eye on number 33, Corey Bloss, with the ball, attacking the midfield line. attacks it.
He's just too fast to cover.
Penalty has released. Teams are at even strength. Bloss is going to double. You love the redodge, don't you, Jim?
Oh, I do. You know, the defender relaxes thinking on the first dodge he did his job and stopped you, and then you come right back at him. He's on his heels.
So there's Taraboletti. Over to Nace. Back to Taraboletti. 4:33 remaining in the third quarter. What a week of lacrosse in North Florida. Gotta love it. Here's Taraboletti getting free. Good off-ball movement. Couldn't connect on the pass. Was it tipped? No, it wasn't. It's a turnover. Creekside ball.
Yeah, he had Nace open on the inside, just was an errant pass, and when the ball went out of bounds.
Good look on the overpass. Now we'll see if they shut off adjacent. There's your play, Jim. The attackman gets free in the clear when the pole has it.
Too easy.
Heavy pressure coming in, but Pollock works it around, dishes it off to McCready. Back to Posey.
And I know number 88, Werman, my voice is in his head right now saying, Coach Applegate is thinking, don't let that pass go.
Have you ever told him that?
Oh, many times.
As many of you know, my partner here, Jim Applegate, longtime youth and JV coach in Ponte Vedra. He's given back so much to the game. Glad to have him in the booth with me, sharing his expertise. Creekside with the ball. 5-5 is the score. There's Werman throwing some lumber, trying to earn back that possession. Low angle shot and a score. Stick side. That's a goal for Creekside. Zach Bender just kept going and thought he was going to lose his angle and went far side, stick side.
That's the second time we've seen him play, and you know what? He just lowered that shoulder and got his hands free and hit the inside the pipe. That's a tough save to make for Nolan Parlett.
And the other thing is Werman was on his back. He was shoving him.
You know, sometimes you were in the right spot and the other player makes a better play than you do.
Hey, Zach Bender, having a day, giving Creekside the lead.
Gotta love the excitement.
What a great event for our community, our lacrosse community. Here's Ruprecht. He's been quiet today. Shot from distance. Save. Ball has popped straight up in the air. Parlett has it. He's got some options in the clear. He's going to slow it down. Normally when we call Creekside games, it's Ruprecht this, Ruprecht that, starting offense, winning faceoffs. Other than Ruprecht's taking the draw, I think that's the first time I've called his name. So we'll see if that's a storyline because he is a game changer as well. Love watching him play.
Big players make big plays at big times, right?
And here's a couple on the field right now. Joe Taraboletti to Reed, Jack Reed. Reed headed to Vermont, working off the pick from Taraboletti, headed to Denver.
It's a pretty good tandem to have on the field right now.
Taraboletti with the sweep, drawing a lot of attention. Rolls back, oh, nice move, shot, just wide. Yep. He's getting some shots.
He is, and Ponte Vedra, the attackman that's X, he's got to be coming around the cage sooner than that. He's letting Creekside play with an extra man because he's behind the cage, not being a threat offensively.
There's Corbett, back to Reed. Trying to get inside, low angle shots, deflected. Opportunity on the rebound. Corbett shot wide. Griffin was going down early.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier that I'd be shooting high on him, and just like I continue to take bounce shots against Nolan Parlett. At some point, you got to look to see what the goalie is playing and how he's playing, and you got to adjust your shooting accordingly.
Ponte Vedra maintains possession. Caracciolo, Taraboletti, trying to duck underneath. Strong defense, strong defense.
Great play by Werman.
Schultz again.
Better play by Schultz.
Schultz is so impressive.
He is.
Just between the restraining lines. Watch the double team. Get away from the sideline. Smart. Headsy play by Creekside. Nice play by Bender.
Yeah, Creekside's playing a little bit faster than Ponte Vedra right now.
Boy, Bender's earning his keep today.
Yes, he is.
He's catching his breath. These guys are running in humidity. Little something extra when it's Ponte Vedra Creekside. Rivalry on the river presented by Train. We're at the 1 minute mark. 1 minute to go in the third quarter. Creekside 6, Ponte Vedra 5.
And I'm going to say, if I was coaching, I'd hold for the last shot, but every time I say that, they go to the cage. But if I'm coaching, I'm either going to go in at the end of the third quarter with a 2-goal lead or a 1-goal lead.
Meaning, don't turn it over and give Ponte Vedra another chance.
Right, be patient and hold for the last shot.
Telling him to get through, get out of his way, drag your defender with you. 30 seconds to go. McCready. Well defended. Skip pass, risky skip pass. That's Wilhelm. Did he step in the crease? That happens way too often. I've seen that even in the college games we've called.
Yeah, there's a lot of stripes out there. You got to remember it's the black stripe and the
Ponte Vedra with 10 seconds left. Will they send it or will they hold it?
I think they're just, at some point, he'll throw it down there.
See if it's a shot on goal. And we are at the end of the third quarter of play, and what a three quarters it's been. Creekside on top of Ponte Vedra by a score of 6-5. It's the end of the third quarter of play. Creekside 6, Ponte Vedra 5. Rivalry on the river presented by Train.
Does that make sense?
They're
So
doing it
if they
to the
slip,
2-man.
right, we come up and get in his face. Let's go.
Hey,
Let's
just
go.
keep
Come
it.
on, boys.
So Coach Alford's saying the same thing that I'm saying.
What's that?
He realizes that the Ponte Vedra attackman is staying behind the cage, which gives him an early second slide. So he said, come up fast and get in his face. And they're basically playing 2 offensive guys against 3 on that side, against 3 defenders.
What a game. Rivalry on the river, the intensity level, you could just feel it turn up a notch here in the fourth quarter. Creekside leading Ponte Vedra, 12 minutes to go. Maybe, could be more, Jim. You and I have called a lot of lacrosse. They might keep us for some overtime.
I wouldn't be surprised if that did happen.
That's a face-off win for Ruprecht. Good way to start the fourth quarter. He needs some help right now.
Yeah, they like that matchup.
Shot, Parlett went down, the ball went up. You hear the Creekside coaching staff say relax, but I like the assertiveness of Creekside. That was McCready. He liked the positioning, and he got through to get a shot off.
Yeah, he had a lot of space in there, and he went right to the cage like a good player does.
Nice check. Jim, that's a beautiful check by Luke Lowry.
It is.
And look at that outlet pass. Oh, he's got a man upfield.
Yeah,
They've got numbers right now.
Yeah, it's 6-on-5 right now.
2 poles up there, though. So Ponte Vedra back on offense. Sean Caracciolo. Corey Bloss. Been a little quiet in the offense, Bloss has.
Yeah, he has. He hasn't really played a lot of minutes, but...
do you like him out there at the midfield?
Yeah, I do. His foot speed, Ray, is second to none, and he's a hard man to cover.
Taraboletti, speaking of hard men to cover, he draws a lot of attention. Look at their shutting off Taraboletti right now.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Alford, he's very comfortable with putting a short stick on Taraboletti and then sliding early with his poles.
Strong, hard defense, as you saw Caracciolo hit the deck. I didn't like his angle. It seems like he had some room to the top middle, and he went low and ran right into a couple of white shirts from Creekside.
Yeah, Creekside's doing a really good job keeping the Ponte Vedra offense on the outside and the perimeter.
Here's Bloss. Left hand rolls back, shot, score! Saw it coming.
I love that kid.
Hard to cover, you said it.
He's an energizing player. Always gives you 100%, and he is fast. And that was a perfect time where you see him go down the alley. The defenseman has to try to stop with him, and he can't. Gets his space, gets his hands free, and Josh Griffin, he looks a little disappointed, but that was a quality shot.
And you looked at that slide. You have to make your slide to the threatening position. The slide went to the low position that was already covered by the on-ball defender. He should have gone to the backside and expected that rollback.
It's one of the few mistakes that this defense has made today.
Ruprecht battling with Ladd.
Creekside comes up with another ground ball.
Not a good shot. Not a good shot by Pollock. So Creekside takes an ill-advised shot. Ponte Vedra coming off a goal, trying to pick up the momentum. And there's Bloss again.
Yep.
So Bloss.
So I kind of like this adjustment from Ponte Vedra. They realized that they weren't generating much offense with the midfielder, so they're going to put Corey Bloss in there to try to get this game going their way.
Powerful dodge. Roll back Tarbaletti. He's got a little space. Closed down by Creekside. Bloss juggles it. Now he gets underneath. Right-handed shot. The goalie went down. The ball went up. Jim, I know what you're thinking. Get him on cage high.
I know.
Griffin was on his knees.
Yeah.
And he definitely dropped his stick down to that low angle, but the ball just sailed. Shot, low shot.
Yeah, like I mentioned, when a goalie's making a lot of saves from bounce shots, then you got to test them up high, just to adjust your shooting habit towards the goalie.
Bloss penetrating, shot, score! Back-to-back goals by Corey Bloss. And you said energizing player. And if you look at that Ponte Vedra sideline, if you look at the supporter section here, they just turned it up a notch.
Yeah, so Creekside's used to big, strong Jack Reed, right? And then you bring a player that's as quick as Corey Bloss, that can go to his right, go to his left, get inside like that. He's just terrible to cover if you don't get a body on him, which is very hard to do because he's that quick.
What a change of pace. You mentioned it. Different style. And once again, once the slide starts coming to the right hand, he splits back to the left and he's free.
Yeah. But it was a good call by the Ponte Vedra coaching staff to get and insert him to the offense in the fourth quarter.
Harper and Ruprecht still on the ground. Still on the ground. Did they call it possession yet?
Not yet. Oh, and he missed the ground ball.
And Creekside comes up with it. Ponte Vedra missed a ground ball. Schultz is going to control it. Schultz drawing some pressure. Very poised and confident by Schultz. Here's Wilhelm. He's been kept in check for a decent part of this game, but just because you're not scoring doesn't mean you're not drawing attention and opening things up for your teammates.
And he's drooling right now. He's got a short stick on him. Bad approach angle by Joey.
Shot, score!
Goal.
That was beautiful. Mano Wilhelm just swept past his short stick defender. Then a slide came. He ran past that guy, squared up, and zipped it right past Parlett.
And that is why this young man is going to Air Force. He's a special player, and he really made that one look easy.
7-7 is the score. 8:17 to go in regulation.
And I mentioned it too, right?
Third goal on the day for Mano Wilhelm.
Yeah, I was surprised that
Ruprecht was leaning.
Yep.
They're going to call it.
I was surprised that Ponte Vedra let a shorty stay on him. I don't think that'll let that happen again.
Houseman picks up the ball off the wing after that violation. Houseman's going to control. Back to Reed.
Back and forth game. It's a boxing match.
7-7. Rivalry on the river. These two schools came into existence in the same year. Creekside's never defeated Ponte Vedra. They've had some good games over the years. Boy, Tarbaletti looked like he wanted to go. So patient. Bloss.
That time he was trying to do too much. But if you notice, Coach Alford changed up his matchup and he put the pole on Bloss. Good move by Coach Alford.
So here's Creekside. Expect to see Schultz come up with it at some point, and right on cue, Schultz finds the open man on the far side, and Creekside with a successful clear. Now we'll see if Ponte Vedra can keep the pressure on. Good off-ball movement in the clearing game by Creekside. I like to see attackmen work. That wasn't a case of Worman letting him open. He took a nice hard cut, received that ball. There's Manna Wilhelm coming off that big goal to tie it back up at 7. 7:04 to go in the game, or at least in regulation. Start saying that as this game is tight.
Good call. The coaching staff realized they were a shorter player and told them to pull the ball out and get settled now.
So Bender, covered by Dylan Dean. Good look. Shot saved by Parlett. Rebound controlled momentarily by Bender, but now it's on the ground. Worman's going to come up with it. Did they call a timeout?
No,
Nope.
they did not.
Good ride by Creekside. Creekside ball, under 7 minutes to go, 6.5. Tied at 7. Rivalry on the River presented by Train. Bender with a shot, goes wide.
That was a nice shot. He was trying to hit the lower corner and just went a little wide.
Creekside maintains possession under the scoreboard to our left. There's Wilhelm.
Coach Polanski telling his defense to push out a little bit.
Bender draws the double team. Both Ponte Vedra players slip. Wilhelm shot off the post. Still a shot. Creekside's going to maintain possession.
He's got a quick release on that shot.
That was a great rip. Hit the post. Had the goalie frozen. 2 Ponte Vedra defenders fell in the same area.
Turf monster.
Jordan Pollock. He's got it in his right, but it won't stay there long. There he comes, left-handed, low-angle shot. Going to be backed up by Mayberry. Good hustle on the backup. Ponte Vedra contested that. So Creekside's going to bring it in. 6:48 to go. Boys varsity lacrosse. Rivalry on the River.
Nice possession for Creekside. They've had 2 quality chances.
Game number 8 of Rivalry on the River this week. Bartram Trail and Ponte Vedra. The girls went to overtime earlier today. Ponte Vedra withstood and won that game. There's an easy save for Parlett. I say easy save. Parlett made it look easy. Nice clear.
Yeah, Schultz didn't have a lot of mustard on that shot.
So here comes Ponte Vedra trying to break this deadlock. Caracciolo was running right towards a Creekside player and finally looked up and said, hey, Jack Reed's wide open. He's pretty good at lacrosse. I think I'll pass it to him. Over to Joe Taraboletti. So here's this midfield line of Reed, Taraboletti, and Bloss. Watch that backdoor sneak. He looks like he's got some room on the back door. He's not threatening. You mentioned it though, Jim.
Yep.
There's a shot. Save! Josh Griffin comes up big. The rebound is secured by Ponte Vedra. Brigman.
Again, Josh Griffin plays such a high arc. That's a tough goal to try to score on him.
There's a shot. Save again. He's a big guy, covers a lot of space, and when you come out and play that high arc, if you don't get him moving, he's a backstop. Reed trying to get underneath. He gets to his left hand.
Get on him.
Shot, save.
Josh Griffin standing on his head.
That was a 3-save possession right there. Good speed on both teams racing to the other end. It's a slow break. Nothing slow about it. Going to have a timeout. Timeout called by Creekside before that turnover. 4 minutes to go exactly. 4 minutes to go. The Creekside bench is exploding with excitement. I think they're cheering for the coach right now. He's had some good timely timeouts coming off their win over Lake Highland Prep. We're going to go ahead and take a break. It's Rivalry on the River presented by Train. Creekside 7, Ponte Vedra 7. Beautiful night in Northeast Florida. Rivalry on the River presented by Train, 7-7. 2 rivals battling out, 4 minutes to go. Josh Griffin for Ponte Vedra. 1 save. Ponte Vedra gets it back. Terabelletti with a try. Save. Josh Griffin. Reed does a nice job to get this shot off. Nicer job by the big man, Josh Griffin, to make a triple set of saves.
Stonewall back there in the cage.
If we were to say before the game, one of these goalies was going to be the difference in the game so far, a lot of people might have said Nolan Parlett, but Josh Griffin has stood on his ear and withstood the barrage from the Ponte Vedra Sharks.
He's been a difference maker tonight, and I was not sure how good of a goalie he was the first time I saw him. He was a little bit shaky, but boy, is he really in late season form right now.
And you mentioned earlier, his defense is putting the Ponte Vedra shooters in positions that you don't mind. There's a shot bounced over the goal. Keep seeing Parlett going down.
I know, and when you see that, you keep on doing the high bounce shots like they're doing.
Bender.
Bender's he's a really nice player. I've really enjoyed watching him.
Ponte Vedra's coming early right now. Stepped on his stick. So Creekside player stepped on the Ponte Vedra player's stick. Gonna have a
referee's
conversation
gonna get
here.
together.
Coach Alford knows the rules, if nothing else.
Well, he's saying that the Ponte Vedra player stepped on his own stick. It wasn't his player that stepped on it. So on that whistle, it should go into AP. I'm not sure who won the toss at the beginning of the game.
They're going to send it to New York to review, I think. 7-7 is our score. We have the referees huddled up. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. on 1010XL. This week in North Florida Lacrosse, we'll recap all the events, especially this thriller.
I'll be listening in on my way to my golf outing.
Oh, you're not joining me tomorrow? We're going to go over your awful predictions you made this week. I have them all written down.
I deserve to be wrong every now and then.
A lot of action to cover.
Yeah, I like the fact that the referees are getting together. They want to make the right call. They know this is a critical game, important game, and they don't want to make a bad call at this juncture.
You either know he stepped on his own stick or you don't know, so looks like Coach West is okay with that decision. He gave the affirmative nod. The rule's the rule, and get it right. So, Creekside argues their case. The judge rules in their favor. Wilhelm, shot, score! Assist by Coach Alford, arguing that call.
That's right.
Boy, Wilhelm in the release.
Yep.
So sweet.
Yep. And Jack Reed came down. He looked a little awkward trying to play defense there.
Man of Wilhelm. So you see McCready draw, throws it back. Bounce shot.
High bounce shot.
Love the energy out of Creekside right now. We have a player down. So as he's being attended to, hope the best for Reed.
And I've been really impressed with the way that Creekside's been able to get to the middle of the field with quality looks on Nolan Parlett.
Fourth goal of the day for Air Force bound Man of Wilhelm. He's got a bum wheel. It's Jack Reed. Doesn't bode well for Ponte Vedra in their attempts to battle back. Looks like the guy in the pink shirt might just want to pick him up and carry him off over his head.
No, he's looking at Jack Reed and saying, yeah, he's a little bit too big for me to do that.
8-7 is our score. Creekside takes the lead. Man of Wilhelm with his fourth goal of the day, and it was a beauty. And the one thing that Grant McCready did very well is he sucked the entire defense to the right side of the field, and then he threw it back against the grain, which gave Wilhelm some space to drift into, and just with a beautiful finish.
Yep. You always talk about drawing the slide away from the play, which he did, which opens up the field behind him, and Wilhelm was able to step in and score an easy goal.
Ruprecht right on cue. Good time. Oh, don't hang your stick. Don't hang your stick. It was a beautiful, timely face-off win.
Yeah, you got to understand the situation and that. Get the ball to the attackman. You got a great attack to support you there, and just get the ball up.
2:52 to go. It's crunch time here at Jangro Field, Episcopal School of Jacksonville. Rivalry on the River presented by Train, living up to its billing. Gloss save, flag down.
They drew a penalty.
Ponte Vedra's going to be man up, but they get a free possession. Let it rip. Shot score! He stung it! Joe Taraboletti. He's not ready to concede this game yet. Did you hear the ting? It sounded like a piano tuner as it hit the post and went in.
Hey, that's the only way you're going to score on Josh Griffin tonight is banging off the post. And what was great about that shot is Joe Taraboletti, he led the defense with his shoulder. His hands are away from the defender. He just waited for his hands to get free, and then he let it rip.
Ting!
Yep.
Got to control possession. We saw Ruprecht trail checked at the other end. Ponte Vedra comes down and ties it back up. Taraboletti, third goal for the day.
And we're seeing big players on both sides making big plays, and thus we have a tie game, 8-8, 2:31 left.
Ladd Harper, Dylan Ruprecht. Harper comes up with it. He tucks it. Shot, save.
I don't know how he saved that going to his knees.
Are they going to dive? Creekside dives. And, they're going to call it Ponte Vedra ball. It was close. Quick restart. Houseman to Taraboletti. Taraboletti's, it just seems like he's not going to let Ponte Vedra lose this game. I just have a feeling that we haven't heard the last of Joe Taraboletti.
So this is an interesting midfield lineup right now. You got Will Corbett in there, and also we got Alex DeStella in there.
There's Taraboletti.
Boy, they're giving him that 12-yard shot. They're feeling good about Josh Griffin, and I would too.
Creekside's confident in the defense of Zach Bender on Taraboletti, leaving that short stick on him.
So that's why I like to see Brock come up when his defense leaves that post to come and sneak in there.
Yeah, he's hanging behind the goal, and that's the attackman, Brigman. Shot, Taraboletti! Rings it up.
So Creekside's decided to put a short stick mini on Joe Taraboletti and slide early, but Ponte Vedra moved the ball so well that they couldn't get the slide, and Taraboletti made him pay for it.
That's what he does. He makes you pay. The momentum swings in this game right now. You see Coach Alford imploring his supporters to keep it up. This game's not over yet.
And you look at both lower defensemen, Ray. They both were staring at each other. Was that your slide? Was that your slide? And they were definitely confused on that.
1:16 to go, and Ponte Vedra comes back, takes the lead 9-8. 1 minute and 16 seconds to go. Creekside has never defeated Ponte Vedra. They've battled today. They've had leads. Timeout. Did they have the ball? They called that early.
They said they had possession, and they gave them timeout.
Timeout on the field.
They gave it to him. Coach Alford saying no way.
Creekside 8.
The referees are saying he had the ball.
Everyone up.
Let's go.
So the kill squad's coming on, trying to run out the clock. Who gets the ball, Jim? You know these kids. If Reed wasn't hurt.
Hey, I'm giving it to Corey Bloss.
Kill squad here.
Joe T. Attackman. Midi, where's Joe T?
Kill squad, where are you?
Nancy, get on.
Alex, you're fast.
Coach Francis in the background.
All right, so here's the deal. You're attackman, and you're attackman. No. Alex is attackman, and then Corbin. Exactly. So listen. You have a minute, you have 12 seconds, we have no timeouts. All right? Just like we did in practice. All right? Just like we did in practice. We do. All right? So once, take your time, take your full time to get it in, come down the alley. You're going to step it in, everyone's going to elevate.
Wait, don't we have 20 seconds before we
I just said take the full time to get it in.
Corey, you bring it in.
He's so calm.
if you get in trouble, throw it over the
Hey, look at me. We don't need a goal. If the ball is in our stick, we're going to win the game. Exactly, all right? So we don't need to take a shot, nothing. Now, if we do step out, we got to jailbreak it, all right? So who are the middies? I don't know if I can run mid right now. You're midi, so we know.
You gotta suck it up for a minute.
All right? All right, who's bringing it in?
Corey, bring it in.
So have Corey bring it in and you be down there. You're the first one. Everyone else is up. Finish this game. Let's go. Finish it. Leave it on the field right now. That's 6. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
If the ball stays in our stick, we win the game. And you just got to love the calmness of Coach West. Even some of his other coaches were excited. The players were excited. Coach West steps in calmly, soothes his team, calms them down. If you keep the ball, we win the game. There's a shot. You had mentioned you'd start with Bloss. No dispute there.
He's just a tough person to cover.
When does the double team come, and does it come from the goal?
Yeah, I would have Joe T back there, so if his man doubles, he's going to be wide open.
I might have put another player in goal.
Yep.
I might have just suited up some other guy as a goalie to go double team at this point, because you need, at some point, there's 45 seconds left. You're going to need a double.
But they slid back there with a shorty.
They're not pulling the goalie out. There's a takeaway. See if we can get a timeout. And is there any left? Probably not. 30 seconds to go. Creekside, 28 seconds to go into the offensive end. Important possession. Got to get this ground ball. Ponte Vedra comes up with the ground ball. Do not shoot. Give it to the guy with the short stick. Oh, that's a push with possession. No call. Bloss comes up with it. Victory formation for Ponte Vedra. Under 10 seconds to go. And the streak continues. Ponte Vedra comes back. This is a regular season game, folks, but it doesn't feel like it. It's Rivalry on the River presented by Train. Ponte Vedra wins 9-8. Unbelievable. Jim, just so many great performances. Josh Griffin stood tall for so long, but you're only going to contain Joe Taraboletti for so long. You know, I had mentioned that when he scored that tying goal, I didn't think we had heard the end from him. He is just too good of a player.
He is, Ray, and you know, again, Coach Harford's going to take a look at this tape. He's going to adjust his defense a little bit, and they'll be back during district playoffs, and I expect another tight one.
Tune in tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to 1010XL for This Week in North Florida Lacrosse for a recap of all the week's lacrosse events. For Jim Applegate, I'm Ray Carnacelli. I hope you enjoyed this week's actions. It's Rivalry on the River. Our final score, Ponte Vedra 9, Creekside 8. Amazing event here. We want to thank all of the supporters, sponsors, players. Just an incredible, incredible week for lacrosse fans, sports fans, and our community. Rivalry on the River, presented by Train. Final score, Ponte Vedra 9, Creekside 8.
Rivalry on the River, presented by Train. Our final game tonight was an instant classic. Ponte Vedra holds on for the win over Creekside, picking up a 9-8 win. Hello, everyone. Joel Lamb back here at our CSI Company's update desk for the final time tonight, wrapping up an exciting day of lacrosse, 4 great games. I'm joined now by Alan Verlander with Jacksonville High School 912. And Alan, congratulations, a great day of lacrosse.
How about this? 4 great games. We had, ending with this great game, we had we started the day with an overtime game. Thought this may go to overtime. Amazing day of lacrosse here, boys and girls style for High School 912 for Rivalry on the River. Not bad, our first one.
Not bad at all. Let's talk a little bit about Jacksonville High School 912, the impact it's making in the community.
Well, you know, a lot of people watch these sporting events and they think that's what High School 912 is. That's far from what we do. All the proceeds from events like this go to help serve the underserved in our community, the high school students that have a dream that don't necessarily have the funding that they need to make those dreams possible. So all of our funding goes back to help support the kids, whether it's through ACT, SAT boot camps, through life skills challenges, through the scholarship that we're doing, through Land South Construction. All of that, academic, sports, and life is what High School 912 is all about.
And when we talk about the sports piece, that's the most visible piece. We've had the basketball tournament back in December. We had baseball back in February. And then today, next up, what's next?
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do Bold City, the Bold City Showcase in August. You know, everybody sees these athletics events, and we could not do that without our friends at TV4, WJXT. They are great partners with High School 912. Same thing with 1010XL Radio. So we get a lot of exposure with all these sporting events. But again, I go back to the main purpose of this. Yes, we love doing the sporting events. You and I can do them in our sleep by now. But we really want to help raise money for all these kids that need help. I mean, at the end of the day, High School 912 is about giving back to this community in a big way.
And one of the things that we talk a lot about when it comes to High School 912 is the impact. We touch a lot of kids in this community. Number is just a staggering number of the number of kids impacted in just 3 short years.
Yeah, in 3 short years, we've been able to reach and impact over 21,000 kids. We put them through life skills. We just finished an ACT-SAT boot camp a few weeks ago, had over 400 students in that. So far to date, we've had 2,000 kids take our boot camps. And so a lot of those kids did not have the scores in order to go to college. They had the grades but didn't have the scores. Well, now they have the scores. They can go to college. They can maybe break the cycle of their family, be the first one in their family to ever go to college, and really realize that dream. And so all the support, all the tickets purchased at an event like this, I got to thank all of our sponsors, including CSI Companies, who's our presenting sponsor of High School 912. All the funding that we have goes to help these kids and making big impact in Northeast Florida.
Alan, at the end of the day, this is it's a big thing to make sure that the impact is really hitting these kids. The one thing I know you and I have talked about a number of times, the average SAT score increase is 350 points. That's a huge difference maker for these kids getting opportunities in college for scholarships.
Yeah, a lot of these kids in our inner city schools, they've got great grades. They just don't have the test scores, and they can't afford to go take a boot camp like we provide for these students. So we provide these boot camps. They increase their score drastically because they are bright kids. They just needed somebody to give them a chance. And it's the old cliche, but you give somebody a chance and you pay it forward, normally good things happen, as we've seen. And we've got some great stories. Hundreds of kids that have now been able to go to college because of High School 912 and doing all through academic, sports, and life that we are focused on.
Well, Alan, we couldn't have pulled off today without your group's help, so congratulations to you guys. Great job, and now we'll look forward to talking to y'all soon at the Bold City Showcase.
Yeah, no, it's been a great day of lacrosse. We put it on television. We got to thank our partners at Gemstone Media because they've done a great job producing this game as well. High-level lacrosse here, and this is hopefully we started a tradition that for years to come we're going to bring the best and brightest teams in our area, maybe, who knows, around the region to Jacksonville to continue to do an event like this. Thanks for all your work. Thanks for our team's work. It was a phenomenal day and phenomenal 3 days of high school lacrosse here in Jacksonville.
Absolutely. When we return, we'll do our post-game recap. We'll hear from head coach Tom West and look at the highlights. Your final score of Game 4, Ponte Vedra 9-8 winners over Creekside. It's Rivalry on the River, presented by Train. Our final game tonight, an instant classic. Ponte Vedra holds off Creekside 9-8 in the premier rivalry of lacrosse on the First Coast. We're back at our CSI Companies update desk. I'm Joel Lamp, joined now by head coach Tom West. And Tom, congratulations. That's one heck of a win there to be down, back up, down, up, tied. You guys found a way to pull out a win.
Yeah, we've been doing that all year, guys. You know, we not to take anything away from what Creekside did tonight. They had a great game plan. They played with all their hearts, and that was probably one of the best lacrosse games in North Florida, I'd have to say.
Lee, take it away. I know you and I talked about before we came over. This was a great game. Go ahead.
Tom, it seemed like both teams really focused on pushing the offenses a little bit out of their comfort zone shooting-wise. Not much looks inside, not an awful lot of finding open players inside either. Was that side of how you expected the game to play out?
Yeah, you know, we changed a whole bunch of things yesterday and this morning. Everyone knows we're missing some guys, but the motto for this team the whole year has been next guy up.
Yeah.
And that's what happened tonight. You know, we had guys step up and they got it done. And like I said, Lee, this team's been doing it all year. They're finding ways to win, and we're down and we fight back, and you know, we're competing. On offense, I thought that our shot selection was a little off tonight. I didn't think we were really shooting well until the fourth quarter. And you know, I thought the Creekside goalie did a great job making saves tonight and made the saves he had to. And there's not many guys stopping those shots at the end. We're playing some good lacrosse at the final couple minutes.
Yeah. Is it fair to say that this team, because of the injuries that they've had to fight through and the close games, it's sort of grown up over through the season, and a game like this, kind of similar to the Plant game in that you gave up the lead late in the game, and managed to find a way to pull it out in the last couple of minutes. Joe Taraboletti, 2 amazing plays to tie and win the game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, we're fighting through adversity, and you know, we're trying to make the best out of what we can.
We're looking at some of the highlights here, the last few goals. Corey Bloss right here making a big play. He made 2 goals that kept you in the game late. And then this shot right here, Taraboletti, man, that was a sweet sounding shot. You could hear the ping off the goalpost.
Yeah, and I was all over him today for shooting sidearm, and his overhand goals were excellent. There's not many guys stopping that shot at the end there. So that's what we needed it.
One of the things we saw in listening to the guys upstairs, you had the shorty matchup on him. Taraboletti always had a short stick guy. Was that something you guys really wanted to take advantage of late?
We'll dodge anyone, to be honest with you. Like the way we've kind of set up our offense is if it's a shorty or a pole, we'll do it. I just think that Creekside did a great job playing our offense the way they should have. And it eliminated a lot of shots, and it eliminated a lot of those layups that, you know, that we usually count on. So they did a great job.
Lee?
Yeah, Tom, obviously a game like this, you've got a district rematch in all likelihood. Does a game like this, does it do anything for a team going into a district rematch?
Normally I would say that it kind of would give an edge to Creekside just because they know they can play with us. They know they have a lead, and you know, they're going to watch. Jason's going to be watching film tonight, getting ready for that next game.
Yeah.
But everything, like the whole state of Florida, the whole country, we don't know who we're going to have for that game. Like, we didn't know who we were going to have for today, and we had to make the best of it. Teams are going to have to do that all the way through. I feel like we're really good at that now because we've had a lot of experience of having different guys, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I know you guys wanted a really good game tonight, so I hope we delivered.
You delivered in spades, my friend. You delivered in spades. An impressive 9-8 win for Ponte Vedra tonight to get the win over Creekside.
Looks like we have a little bit of a
There's a happy group of Sharks here behind us tonight celebrating that win. Our face-off of the game right here was one of them a little bit early, late. Right here, a big win, a big scrum that became one of our big plays right here. A big face-off win for Ponte Vedra there.
Yeah.
Then our save of the game. Nothing bigger than that right there. Nolan Parlett, big-time save right there to keep Ponte Vedra in the game. And then our shot of the game right here. Taraboletti dodges a couple defenders, and then a little behind-the-back action. Sweetness. Nice move by Taraboletti, one of the stars of today's game. All right. Tom, congratulations. Great job. Best
Thanks
luck
for having
rest of the
us.
season.
I guess we can book next year. Ponte Vedra, Creekside, maybe.
I think y'all got an inside track. I know a couple of guys.
All right. Well, I'm glad Jason and I delivered on a great
No
game.
question. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks for having me.
For all of our team here at Rivalry on the River, I'm Joel Lamb signing off from the CSI Companies Update Desk one last time. Your final score in our final game. Ponte Vedra takes home the W 9-8 over Creekside. The Rivalry on the River presented by Train. Good night, everybody.